Hello, everyone, and welcome to Studio Jake. I, of course, am your host, Jacob Airy. Thank you so much for joining me today. Be sure to like this video, subscribe, ring the little bell, because YouTube, they are such pranksters. They like to unsubscribe people all the time, so be sure to ring that little bell. That way you also get notifications for whenever I do great interviews like this, because I am so excited. I have on two very special guests. I think this is my first time doing two guests at one time, so I'm very excited about that. Also, my last interview of the year, so be sure to definitely subscribe for that, because we're going to have a whole bunch of new ones January 2021. And today I'm here with Danny Simmons and Zeb Zewdie. Am I pronouncing?
Zewdie.
Okay, good. Okay, good. I want to be sure I got that correct. And we are talking about the documentary Suffer for Good, which tells Seb's amazing story of becoming this boxing champion from the nation of Ethiopia all the way to him becoming a trainer. It's a fantastic. Gentlemen, thank you both for joining me.
Yeah. Thank you so much for having us, Jake. Really appreciate it and the kind words, and we look forward to this interview. Seb, you looking good, baby. Suffer for good.
Thank you so much. Thank you for having us here, Jake. I appreciate it.
And I would just like to say to my audience, I have seen Suffer for Good. It is a fantastic documentary. It's very well in the way it tells its story. It tells Zeb's story, and I just want to highlight one of the really cool things about it is you get to hear Zeb's story from his own words as he describes his journey to becoming a boxer and a boxing trainer and getting back into boxing. I want to start with you, Seb, because it's about your story, and I'm curious whenever you were approached to do this documentary, what was kind of your reaction to hearing that your story was going to be told?
Yes, first I'd like to, like you said, I'd like to introduce myself. My name is Seb Zewdie. I grew up in Ethiopia. I was a former Olympic boxer and Olympic coach, and I live right now in Nashville, Tennessee. I have 3 boys and a wife, and we moved from California to Tennessee last year. So we live right now we are based in Nashville, Tennessee. And this documentary that we did is a really amazing story. It's a true story. It's very motivated, and people can pursue their goal without doubting. Most people, they don't like to suffer for, even the title to suffer for good, which is most of us, we don't like to suffer for a little. We give up easy. So how I got through this, how I passed through this, and that helps for people, and they can challenge, they can confront their problems in marriage lives and social lives, in the workplace, in different directions. They can have this kind of challenge, how they can handle the situation. That's why we call it Suffer for Good. That's what I encourage to watch the movie.
Yeah, absolutely. And Danny, I'm just curious for your part, how did you connect with Seb and hear about his incredible journey?
Yes, yeah, and thank you. Seb and I met in a very organic way. We were both working at Sony Pictures, and he was teaching clients and also some fighters who work at Sony Pictures. And I happened to take a class, one of these lunch periods, and I went in and I saw a bunch of people sweating. I was like, I got to do this. And I've never been worked so hard. I mean, I consider myself pretty athletic. And within 5 minutes, Seb was laughing at me. We were laughing with each other. Within 10 minutes, he was smacking me in the face with a mat, bop, hitting me and going, get your hand back, get your hands up. And it was a very challenging experience, just learning how to box and also learning how to take Seb's punches. But more than that, I remember going, wow, where's this accent from? I haven't heard an accent like this in my entire life. And I'm from LA. So, native Angelenos, we kind of heard it's a diverse melting pot, right? I was like, I don't know anyone who's ever sounded like this. And then we started chatting, we started talking about, like, where are you from? And he told me his story, and I was like, whoa, man, this is way more than meets the eye. It's not just about boxing. Like, someone's got to tell your story. I don't know how to make a doc, but someone needs to make a documentary. And he said there are a couple of guys who wanted to, and very LA type of thing. People say they're going to do one thing and they do the other, right? Oh yeah, I'll see you there. I'll see you at dinner. And then you flake. And I was like, hey, I'm not a good filmmaker. I don't know what I'm doing, but I promise if I say I'm going to do something, I'll set my goal and I'll achieve it. And here we are, 5 years later, and we have a movie, and we got worldwide distribution with Gravitas. So it's been truly a learning experience working with Seb, and then learning, kind of going through my own version of film school, making this film Suffer for Good.
And Seb, just I'm a little curious, like whenever this idea came up, where Danny's like, I want to make a documentary about your story, have you tell your story and show, your evolution. I'm just curious, what was your reaction when you heard this?
Danny and I, like he said, first when I met him at the Sony, and he asked me, are you from Cuba? And he said, no, I'm not from Cuba, because Cuba, they have a great boxer all the time, and he think most people there, he's not the only one. Most people they think I'm from Cuba because of the skill that I have. And no, I'm not. And I told him my story. Well, yeah, very interesting story. I wish I can do something. And yeah, we had a plan to make a movie, but the guy that he said, he didn't show up. The next day, Danny, and I told him, where are you gym at? And I told him, I gave him the address, and I was teaching MMA fighters, and he showed up with the camera. I said, I couldn't believe this guy is through.
I think he used the word crazy. Yeah, this guy is crazy. I was like, I'm here. I'm the real deal.
Yeah.
So
he walking around. He's recording me the video. That shit. Is that serious? I said, I couldn't believe my own eye. And he just kept going. And we got connected. The chemistry's built up, and we ended up here. And that's just why, it was a big accomplishment for us. Really, I really appreciate Danny, what he did. I mean, really, he suffered for good too.
Well, and that's fantastic. And you picked up along the way of hearing Seb's story, and his story continues, obviously. What is something that you learned from making this documentary, as far as just about yourself and about making a documentary about such an incredible story?
yeah, I think one of the things I learned was that whenever any process is never finished until you kind of have completely exhausted every chance, every avenue for success. So it's kind of like, if you are going to be an athlete, whatever it is, if you're doing movie reviews or podcasts or anything of that nature, it's we as people, we have to go through this process of suffering, but really that's the journey, right? In any good protagonist story, it's like we want to be on this path of adversity and all these obstacles. And then personally, I had so many obstacles, which is how to make this work, and also learning throughout it. Like, how do I improve my copywriting, my question writing, the preparation, documenting every moment, and researching Ethiopian history, and talking to Seb and talking to his former friends and connecting them through Facebook. I mean, a lot of it was using the internet to stalk people and find people and unearth facts and little connections, and through that, as you saw in the movie, we were able to do some pretty amazing stuff with finding Rick Hodes, who's a CNN hero who hadn't seen Seb in like over 25 years, and it's just a beautiful story. And I think through that, the energy of whatever the universe is, or whatever it is, in Seb and I, we both believe in God, right? It's God, in my opinion, recognizes the force of work and work ethic and grit, and we just kept putting it in the time, and we're like, hey, we're not done yet, we're going to submit to these festivals. I finished the film, I thought, okay, I'm done, someone else will come knock on my door and buy it. Okay, Sundance just opens the door and says, come on in. In our film, it's been more of an effort of, we got to pound on other people's doors, and then when they don't answer, we kick it down. So that's kind of the idea, is like, no, we're coming, we're going to get this out into the world, this is going to be seen by millions of people. And I think that we put that extraordinary effort into everything we did, and I hope you guys see that. Seb did it, he brought it, overcoming injuries, overcoming the internal struggles that we all have. I think one of the things I'm grateful for is that through the telling of Seb's story, I was like, I actually was inspired to quit my corporate job. So that's one of the things I didn't know was going to happen. Is like, oh my goodness, I think I can do this full time, and now here we are. That was 3 years ago, so now I'm actually starting to see some success. So it's a beautiful thing, and I'm grateful for you, Seb. Thank you.
Oh, thank you so much. Thank you.
And Seb, what is something you would like people who watch the documentary? What would you like them to take away from it? What do you want audiences to learn about from your story?
Here is as I see in America, especially every maybe I believe the study shows maybe every 16 minutes people kill themselves in suicides and so on and so on. And I came to US with no English and no access to have all cultures, new culture involved with it, with injuries, with the surgeries, and with so many difficult things that I passed through. And they can, in the US, all the tools they have is in their hand, but they cannot accomplish, they cannot success because of don't like to suffer. And even Jake, you might be through something problem now, right now, if we see we're talking as in time. You might have challenging relationship, you might have challenging other workplace, you might change other places. How am I gonna solve that? All of us, we have egos to always to win, but we don't like to lose. But losing, when you lose, sometimes you learn. So most here in America, they don't like to lose. Then they go to different direction. They go to drugs, they do marijuana, it's just killing someone was killing themselves. From my movie, what I passed through, that they can learn from that, they can achieve their goal. Yeah, I get knocked out, I get up, and I continue fighting. I gotta stop, I get up, and I had a surgery, I get up, I start training fighters. And I finally, let me do one more fight for a movie. We're going to be accomplished good, and I can inspire my kids, my family, my friends, or my students and clients. They can get back. And everybody who saw the movie, left and right, they call me, you inspire me, sir. I was out from the gym. I was injured, but I'm going to get back. I was give up from this kind of problem that I have, but I'm going to come back again. So I'm getting a lot of feedback from people. Your movie really inspiring, very courage in a very positive way. You're not getting any different habit that you had, but you stick with it. You actually become successful to get this point. So everybody that was gonna watch, they're gonna inspire their motivation. Not only the sport, even social life, and any kind of form. So I hope they will get some kind of message. That's what they can get from my movie.
Well, that's fantastic. And Danny, where can people find this? Where can people watch?
Yeah, you can watch Suffer for Good on all your platforms. You can get it on Amazon, Google, obviously iTunes, Apple TV, anything else, your Sony, any of your cable providers. It's on every VOD distributor. You can get it on the Redbox app, on Vudu. And yeah, that's where you can get it. I just want to say one last thing about Suffer for Good. I just on your point, Seb, Suffer for Good is one of those things that I think is kind of unilateral and can apply to just about anything you do, whether, Suffer for Good, it's not just like, hey, what do you want to do today with your life? It's like, no, what do you want to overcome to, write? If you want to write, go write. If you want to start your podcast, do it now. And you have to endure that, like Seb said, you have to endure those challenges. And I think that seeing someone like Seb, so removed from boxing, go and do that. I mean, I'm inspired now to go and box. I want to go get punched again. I need to lose this quarantine 15, baby.
I know exactly what you mean.
Yeah. Those gyms closing, killing me, man.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And once again, I want to say thank you both for coming on. I really appreciate it. And I just want to reiterate to all my subscribers, go check it out. Like you said, you can find it on the VOD, Vudu. All my subscribers know I'm a big fan of Vudu. Go to Vudu, check it out. Go to Redbox, check it out. And of course, once again, be sure to subscribe here, like this video, share it out, let people know about this film. We want Suffer for Good is an inspirational story. We definitely want to get out Follow me on Twitter at Real Jacob Berry, Instagram, Parler, it's the same. Facebook is author Jacob Berry, and my website is studiojakemedia.com. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time right here on Studio Jake.
Thank you,
Thank
Jake.
you.
I appreciate it. Thank you for having us.